Another main important thing is you have to every time the entire concept of table making is based on leveling. Even when you do the placement, even when you start your pouring and making the mold, the entire concept, the most important, one of the most important thing is leveling, smoothing, straightening. Your wood that you cut, it should be extremely leveled. It should not be crooked. It should not be bent and all. It should be leveled. And this everything should be leveled. Now if you see, there are blade marks here. So this, even the blade mark, they are not level. You have to get rid of, even before you start your project, you have to get rid of this. So for leveling also, when you cut your wood, when you cut your wood in certain thickness, then obviously you have to use this. This is vernier caliper. So this will measure thickness here. So then what you have to do is measure the thickness of the entire wood. You have to just measure it. Just see the measurement. If it is all accurate from all the sides, you have to just check. If it is not, you have to just ask the people, the mill people, to just cut it accurately. Cut it accurately, because they have their machine, they have their super blades. They cut the most of the time it is like really straight, but sometimes what happens, the wood is, the log is not in a position. They are crooked, they are of different shapes. So sometimes it may differ. Sometimes it differs. So you have to make sure your entire piece is of one level, one thickness. It should not be like more, even one mm that will affect you during the process. It will affect you. It should be accurate. It will just save you a lot of time in the finishing processes now. So that is the reason why everything should be leveled. Just make this concept, just take this idea in your mind that everything should be leveled, from starting from wood or the placement of your table also. Everything, when you're on the working table also, it should be in a certain level. It should be all level. It should not be up and down. So just because when you pour, if the level is not maintained, so it will just go in a different way. One side will be thicker, one side will be a bit, the sizes will differ, and it will just create a lot of problem, and your finishing will take a lot of time. So just make sure your thickness is of one level. Secondly, now there will be to make it more accurate, there is a machine. There is your mill people, they will be having a machine called the planing machine. Planer, it is called planer. Actually it is planer, but in our local language in India we call it planer machine. Planning karna hai. So after the level is done, everything is done. So now what you have to do is 2 inches or whatever inches that you require. Just ask them to pass it through that machine, leveling machine. So even if there is a slight even if there are slight ups and downs in that machine, it will just self level it. There is another machine which is called planing machine. After you cut the wood, after you are satisfied with your thickness accurately, even after that you have to pass it through a planing machine, because you never know. In that planing machine accurately, the entire thing is it becomes uniform. So after the cutting, you have to pass your wood through a planing machine. So that is for extra leveling. We are looking for like accurate leveling, both the sides, up and down. It should be accurately leveled. It's not only the top part should be leveled. Both the parts should be accurately leveled. It should be absolutely straight, because we are doing a table. If there are slight ups and downs, if it is not straight and all, then your project will affect. The project will always be bent or in other funny shapes. So the main thing is, when the project is done, if there is even a hair space, even if it is bent in the size of your hair, it will just show. It will just become bent like this. It will just show in your final project. And there is a lot of other complications also. If your wood is bent, it will waste a lot of resin also. There are a lot of complications, which obviously in higher courses you will learn. So that is the reason why straightness is much important. Level and straightness leveling is very important. So planing machine, after you cut the wood, put it in a planing machine. So it will level it accurately from both the sizes. Then next step, what you have to do is After this, there will be this blade marks. If you can see here slightly, because obviously these are blade marks of the machine, of the blades which were used to cut the wood. So the next step after the cleaning of the wood, first what you have to do is get this leveled, planed and all. Then you get your wood home, and then you clean the wood. Do the cleaning of the wood at home, because there you will not have so much time. During the cutting time you cannot clean and all. Cleaning and all, it should be done at home or in your workspace. Then cleaning, after the firing thing which I told you, everything is accurate, everything is clear, they are satisfied, everything. Then what you have to do is use a sander. This is the sander that you have to get. This is called orbital sander. This is called random orbital sander, and everything is already mentioned there what you have to get. So this is a sanding machine. This is, and these are called grids. These are sanding paper way or the grids. These are called grids. So you have to get this orbital sander, random orbital sander, and from a good company. There are a lot of options, but you have to get it from a very good company. So this is the sanding pad that is like available. This is this sanding pad, and it is it has velcro to it, and it has hole here. It acts as an exhaust. So whatever the dust that may come, it will just be collected here. So your thing will be much cleaner. So get this thing, and there will be this sanding thing. This is sanding pad or grid, and this grid, there are different numbers. I'll just mention it during the finishing process, but just remember, use a 80 or 120 number grid. Just write it down, 80 or 120 grid. This is called grid. Just get this grid, and then you have to just match the holes here. It will just get stuck to it, but this is velcro. It will just get stuck to it. Just match the holes here, and then what you have to do is, now I told you have to get rid of all these blade machines. I mean this blade marks. So what you have to do is sand it. When it starts, it will just sand all this thing. It will. I'll just show you. So this sanding you have to do on this. It is a very easy process. You have to just sand it. Sand all the marks. Once you start sanding it, this blade mark, they will just disappear. You just have to get rid of all this blade marks up from both the sides. From both the sides you have to get rid of the marks, and it will just become somewhat like this. It will become somewhat like this, smooth. It will become smooth. So see, there are blade marks here. This is not sanded, and this part is sanded. See here, there are blade marks here. So this is without sanding, and after the sanding is done, it will be smooth like this. And now this sanding, the first sanding which during the process of preparation of the wood is 80 to 120, the grid number. Just note it down. 80 to 120 is the grid number of the sanding pad, which will be used in this orbital sander. This thing, which is a velcro thing, round thing, it is 5 inch. This is 5 inch, the diameter is 5 inch, and you have to just match it with the holes here. So everything is available in the market, so you don't need to worry about it. You just have to know what you are looking for. Random orbital sander, which I showed you, which will be in the description also. You have to just sand it from both the sides during the process of preparation of the wood. Now this is, so after you get rid of this marks here, after it is all smooth from both the sides, so now the preparation is done. Your wood is ready for the project. Now the next thing is, what you have to do is, after all this thing is done, you have to clean the wood and make sure you should not in any way possible right now. You should obviously keep it away from moisture, and some people, they just clean it with water. This thing that is not you should not never clean your wood with water, because we have done it. Because I know it may sound silly, but we've cleaned our wood during our first stages. We've cleaned the wood with water. So water should not never be applied. Take acetone or some alcohol which is available in the, don't take turpentine and all, just take acetone or some alcohol to just clean the mud, everything, just clean it with a cloth or something, hard cloth. Just get a rough rag or a cloth, piece of cloth, and just clean everything. It will be just clean in no time. Just this is cleaned, but we have not done extra, we have not used alcohol and all. It just cleans. Just clean it up, or use this thing. Just clean it. Basically, you have to clean all the mud, everything. You just get rid of all the dust particles. Just clean your wood. And then after cleaning and all, after you are satisfied, you can use your brushes also. Just use your brush and all, just clean it up. Just clean the entire wood surface. Everything, even in the holes and all, everything, just clean it. After the cleaning is done, the next thing you have to do is, you have to apply a seal coat. You have to seal the wood. Sealing the wood is also very important, and the sealing of the wood is done with the use of the epoxy only, because we are dealing with epoxy now. So even the sealing part, everything has to be done with epoxy. Sealing is, you are just like in the micro level, these pores are all opened and there is moisture inside. Just make sure in your mind that there is, even if technically if it is shown there is no moisture, you have to understand there will be moisture inside. So what you have to do is seal it with the resin. I told you how to prepare the resin in the preparation of the resin part. So after, make a small quantity of your resin, and then you have to seal it. You have to seal the entire wood. The best is seal the entire wood. But even if you are not up to, it is not actually required to seal the entire wood. But some people seal the entire wood. But most importantly, you have to seal the parts which will come directly in contact with your epoxy. Like if you are placing this wood here, and if the river is coming here, the epoxy thing is coming here, so like it is a must that you have to seal this part. No problem, we are not sealing anything else. But if the resin or the epoxy is coming in contact with this part here, so you have to seal this ends here, because I told you, it will be, if it is not sealed, it will be opened, the pores will be opened, and during the curing of the resin, I told you there will be a lot of violence, the chemical violence will be there. There will be a lot of heat generated. Once the heat is generated, there will be heat here. Heat will be it will pass here. And if there is some moisture inside, hidden inside, with heat, it will come out through air. And when the air comes out, that will give out bubbles. The moisture will just come out in the form of air bubbles, and there will be air also trapped inside with the violence. It will just come out, and that will give rise to a lot of bubbles. So if this is already sealed, so this sealing process is for that. If it is already sealed, there is a lock here, there will be a wall here, a seal wall will be here. So like whatever reaction that will be taking place, it will be outside this. So that will not affect the interior of the wood. So this is the reason why during the curing time, there will be no bubble and there will be no surprises for you all. Sometimes what happens, even if there are no bubbles, everything is good. So what happens, there is a natural color to the wood also. So during that violence, heat or the reaction process, it just it just gives out these pigments, the natural colors of the wood, or the particles which are hidden inside. They just the natural color, it just comes out, and it will just float on your project. If you are making a project which is white in color or transparent in color, so it will just float. The particles or the colors, they will just come out. So that is the reason why we have to it is a compulsory thing that we have to seal the woods. If not whole, if not the entire entire woods, at least the woods which will come in contact with the resin. So at least that. Now if I am doing this, this entire thing will be submerged and this will be outside the, so here if there is a, see if here there is a river coming now with this thing, so I will seal this entire thing, even this parts here, this holes and all, it will be sealed. And to seal you use, obviously you have to put gloves and all for safety reason. You have to put two gloves. One glove will not do because they may break also. So you have to put at least 2 gloves when you are doing your projects. You can seal with the use of your fingers also. And if it's too much complicated, use your brush which is synthetic, not the usual brushes, normal brushes which is available in your hardware stores, because the hair, if the hair is not synthetic in nature, if it's not hard and all, it will just break and it will just stick to the surface and you will not even realize it will be there. And after the project is complete, then it will just show up. So that is the reason why hard brush you have to use, and that also synthetic brush, and that is also very easy to clean also. The other woods, other brushes, they are like really difficult to clean and it will just spoil, and you have to just, you will be just keeping on buying new brushes for that. So either you apply it with your hands, with the gloves on hands, or either with the brush. So if I am doing it here, this thing, obviously I cannot do it in my fingers and all. So here I will just apply, I'll use brush here. See, with this I'll be just using brush here. Here, if the surface is like this, I'll just use my hands or with the brush, anything which suits you. Because when I do it in my hands, I feel more in control. So that is a different thing. That is not a must to do. Either you use your brush, synthetic hard brush, or with hands you can just seal the side. The main focus should be on sealing of the sides. So this is the sealing part. After you seal that thing, after the sealing is done, and sealing is done with the resin which is used for casting, that is 3:1, the thin one. Reason being, as I told you, it just penetrates into any surface because it is very thin. So now that when you are using that thin resin, it will just penetrate in these holes and all inside, and it will just accurately seal everything. Or if you are using the other thick resin to seal, it will just not go inside because it is thick. It will just stay on top. It will not penetrate. If there are slight cracks here and there, it will not penetrate into those cracks. So that is the reason why we have to use mostly the 3:1 resin, which is the thin one, which has the viscosity is very thin. So that we have to use for sealing your wood. After you seal the wood, just place it on height. Just keep something here for the cure. After the sealing, just place it in a place which is safe and is not directly exposed to the outer environment. Because if it is directly exposed to the outer environment, it tends to attract a lot of dust. So what will happen is it will attract a lot of dust here, insect dust and all. They will just get stuck to it, and then there will be a lot of thing to remove that. So as far as possible, keep it in a good environment which is not directly in contact with the environment, but then also it has to have good ventilation also, ventilation of air also. So that is the thing. It should not be, your projects should never be done in closed rooms because there are a lot of fumes that comes, and it has to, the rooms should be well ventilated, but well ventilated, but also it should be very clean also, because the temperature, everything, it is having an effect on the curing part also. So the sealing is done. After the sealing is done, it will take you 24 hours for your resin to cure here. So after the curing is done, you have to check. After the curing you'll come to know if it is cured. It will appear like plastic here. It will just resemble plastic. The sides will be all plastic and they won't be sticky. They will be like extremely smooth. There will be roughness to it. It will not be smooth. Like smooth as in like finished smooth. It will have roughness, and that is very important. I'll tell you why later. That is very important, that it will be rough but it will be very plasticky. So that is the time when you'll know that your sealing is done, and it will take anywhere around 24 hours. 18 to 24 hours will take, depending on the climate also, which will be covering it in the next parts. So this is your part of preparation of the wood. So now we'll be meeting you in the mold making process later. So thank you so much.